Sometimes God will tell you to do something that's illogical, nonsensical, sounds absolutely crazy, and especially if you tell people, they will look at you like you're crazy. But if people are your measuring stick, your plumb line, you are going to miss God every time. Morning, people. How are you guys doing? Hopefully each and every one of you are doing well and you're still standing as Babylon is falling. So for those of you who have been following, I told you guys I'm going on this little journey with God. I don't know where he's taking me, so I'm just going. But every day I get up, I open my Bible, and wherever the Lord leads me to read, that's where I read. So first it started off with the life of Moses in Deuteronomy, where Moses disobeyed God and end up missing out on his destiny. Then I was led to read Amos, and Amos talk about the plumb line, where God is using the plumb line to measure us. Then when we got down to Jeremiah, where God said, I am testing the righteous and I'm examining their heart and their mind. And then I was led to read Matthew, where Jesus said, you cannot serve God and man because you're going to either disobey one or obey the other. I'm just paraphrasing these. And then I was led to read First John, and in that it was saying to try the spirit, to test the spirit, because not everybody that says Jesus Christ is for Jesus Christ for real. Then after that, I was led to read Mark, where the disciples was in the ship with Jesus, and Jesus woke up and basically quelled the sea, and the disciples who have been hanging with Jesus, who supposedly know Jesus intimately, still did not know who he was and was asking, what type of man is this? After being so close to Jesus, still did not know who Jesus was. Then this morning, I was led to read Isaiah chapter 2 and 3. So at the end part of Isaiah, I read about God's covenant love. And then in chapter 3, God told Hosea to go back and go marry the adulteress because it's according to his love. So I was like, okay, God, what are you telling me? You're telling me to go back? Okay, so Hosea went back. And then I started, pondering and talking to God about it. Some of the times, God will tell us to do something that looks illogical to you, even to yourself, and especially to people. But if you disobey God like Moses did, you're going to end up missing out on your destiny. If you are going to wait that people use people as your measuring stick when God is supposed to be your measuring stick. If you are going to talk about your following God, God is going to test you, and he's going to examine your heart, and he's going to examine your mind. And what did Jesus say? You cannot serve God and man at the same time. And then I came down and then we're back now down to John, where whatever God tells you to do, test it by the Spirit, because not everything that comes is of God. But then also, here we are back in Mark, where now, if you don't know who God is, if you don't have discernment, you are going to miss what God sent to you. Because you did not know, you're close to God, but you don't know God. And then here we are today, where God talking about covenant love and the fact that you should go back. Because sometimes we walk away from what God sends to us because it does not look like God. But the thing what God is saying also in that same scripture is not for people to go back to broken, dysfunctional relationships, because underneath that going back, there was stipulations. He said, he bought her back But then he told her what the stipulations was. You cannot be doing the same thing that you used to do before. If you're basically, I have standards for taking you back. And if you basically violate those standards, you're not coming back to violate those standards. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. So that was my today, as I am saying to you, that first you have to obey, then you let God measure you, and remember sometimes God is testing you, and then another time he is examining your heart and your mind. It's not about your outside appearance or your performance. God is truly judging your heart and your mind towards him. And remember what Jesus said, you cannot serve God and man. You have to be loyal to one or the other. So it's either you're going to be loyal to what God tell you to do, or you're going to be listening to man. Then you got to know Jesus and ask for discernment. So you got to try the spirit, and you have to have discernment. And if whatever God tells you to do, just do it. That's my message for today. Don't know what tomorrow may hold, but today God told me to go back and to follow his instructions. That's all. So anyway, y'all, have a blessed day. Hopefully each and every one of you are having a great week thus far. Have a blessed one. Bye.